Welcome back, Blue Path. You are here now to look at the mastery of your path. So when we really anchor in and figure out what's going on and what we were deciding or what energy we were coming from, the next thing to know is, well, what am I mastering now? What am I opening in my field now? And Blue Path, how exciting. Let me just take a peek at everything. You've got some really interesting stuff. I really like this because I feel like this is a very strong collective energy right now, meaning there's a lot of support to get through where the block is, and we'll review that in the next video. But there is a massive opportunity to totally have and move into this next experience of life. And so I really love this for you. What you're focused on right now mastering is Window 74. And Window 74 is all about transcendence. This is the crown chakra energy. It is when the crown chakra shows up on the physical plane, which is your high self. It is that divine embodiment of your highest truth, your spiritual destiny here on earth. So it's high self in connection to crown chakra on the emotional plane, which is your purpose. So this is all about you being the true you and ready to live your purpose, which creates a transcending energy. This is like phenomenal. Master this, and I say goodbye to you because you are so in alignment with everything that you don't have time for me anymore. So basically transcending energy, I like to explain it like this because we have kind of a similar energy in it. When it hits the solar plexus chakra, we call it transformation. And when it hits the crown chakra, we call it transcendence. Because when it hits the solar plexus chakra, it's the version of you, it's the human you that has a transformation, right? There's a major shift in you, maybe your look, what your life looks like, maybe where you're living. I always say transformation is like in your book of life, changing the chapter and entering a new phase, entering a new chapter, right? Closing the one chapter and getting ready to dive into the next experience. That is transformation at the solar plexus chakra level. When we look at this same kind of energy, but at the crown chakra level, when this happens, it's as if you're shutting the book of your life, the book that you've written, right? And you being the main character in it, and you close that book and you archive it, and you get ready to write a whole new book. It means the characters are different, the situations are different, every experience is different, right? So it's a totally new book, which to me, it's a new energetic playground that you get to be in. This is not looking back. This is not having to be, we have to, in order to start a whole new book, whether it's volume 2 or it's a whole new book, in order to do that, there has to be an ending. There has to be a completion. You know, nobody would buy the second book if there wasn't at least a plot wrap up, right, from the first book. And so this is your life. This is what we're talking about is, you know, this cycle, and we could call this your karmic cycle. This is like the full karmic turning of your wheel has ended. It's like you get to completely start over, but it's you're maintaining. Again, if we're going to take your character from book 1 to book 2, you get all the lessons and all the triumphs and all the hardships that came along. Everything that you experienced in book 1 becomes the baseline for book 2, but the character can start in a different location and have totally new, you know, friends and experiences. It's just a total new lease on life. And it's you being the you, this next iteration of you in a new way. So it's magical. It's a magical time. And this is what you're mastering. You are mastering what it means, or the understanding of what it means to go through this transcendence, to go through this book closing, new book opening. So you get to write your new story here. And so when we look at this from kind of the energy of what you're coming from, I really do like this because you've been in this cycle of like getting to be the new you, but then you have to slam on the brakes and reconcile, you know, old patterns or people or whatever, right? Again, it's what you're coming from is the last chapter of the last, you know, of your book, your first book, right? Last chapter of your first book, you had to wrap up all loose ends. You've been tying everything up. And so what's going to start now is this totally new lease. And so I want you to almost think about it like that. The mastery here is learning that you don't have to carry forward anything. You get to choose. And I communicated this in a reading that was so powerful for me last month. In the reading, the information came through that, you know, if you think about your life and you think about everything that you remember about your life, it's like snapshots that you've chosen to carry forward that create the story of you. Think about if you would have taken different snapshots of your life, right? If you didn't choose to carry forward what you're carrying forward, but in fact you chose to carry forward maybe some of the negative interactions and the hate you had towards this and the whatever. If you chose different snapshots of your life to carry forward, you could be a totally different person. So why do you choose to identify with certain aspects of your life and not other aspects? Why do certain things create your identity and other things not, right? And as you've made choices, you know, the choices that you made also become these snapshots. You could have made opposite choices. So we really get to choose how we move forward. And so from this moment on, you get to again choose. You don't have to bring what you don't want to bring from the old book. You can totally let that go and only choose to bring certain snapshots into this new book. And so that is what I guess would be the learning curve here, is how do I totally let go of certain things that only I would perpetuate into this new story. You know, if it's a sickness, if it's a pattern, if it's a person, if it's a whatever, you don't have to bring it into this next story. You're the one telling the conscious story or the narrative of your life. And so you get to decide how you tell that story. So change the language, and that's going to be a big thing. That is your big thing. How you tell this story is so important. And that's the new beginning for you. So watch the next video. But how you choose to communicate who you are, how you choose to communicate what you're feeling, how you choose to communicate, you know, what you're creating. All of these things have meaning and importance. And so it's really imperative that in order to create this next version or next volume of your existence, that you really get conscious and very connected to what's going to be in this next paradigm that you're existing in. So that is your mastery. Again, at Root-to-Crown, we like to provide you with opportunities to join the membership. For $199, we have an amazing membership where you can get tools and meditations and breathwork practices and everything you need to stay very conscious and aligned to not just this month's journey, but to anything that you're experiencing. We also have higher levels that give you kind of one-on-one work if you want that. So I implore you to take a look at that, and really, if it feels right, to join to support your journey, and then in turn supporting the content that we create. And then all the fun that's happening with Raw Shamans. We should be going live this August, so find that channel, the YouTube channel, and subscribe. That will really help the work that we're doing with indigenous cultures and bringing more awareness to the plant medicines that are being used to help people stay in the mastery of this month, the transcending energy. So now hopefully go ahead and watch the next video, which is all about the new beginnings, which is going to be carried through the first of the month all the way to the 19th. So I will see you there.